Hey guys, alright, so today I'm going to teach you how to replace a broken water line on your BUNN commercial coffee maker. It is a BUNN Omatic model CWTF15. CWTF15. So what happened was we put the coffee maker in storage, had a couple really hard freezes, and one of the lines busted. So I had to take the front cover off. I already did that. I already took it apart. But I'm going to show you guys kind of in the middle of the process here. I've already got all the parts apart, and I'll show you putting it back together. This here is the copper tubing that broke, and right here is a little split. You can just see where the ice split it open. So that's what we're replacing. We're getting rid of the copper and going back with plastic because it's much easier to repair that way, and it's much easier to replace later on should this happen again. So let's get into it, and you can see right here that we've got it all apart, and that copper line used to run from this fitting here back to that little hole that you can see right there. So we're going to run that the new plastic line back in there. Okay, so this is pretty simple repair. So what you're going to need is, obviously you're going to need some 1/4 inch plastic tubing. You'll need your sleeves and tube inserts for the plastic tubing, because these come with the sleeves for the copper tubing. So for the compression copper tubing, you don't want those. That's not going to work for this plastic. So what you'll need is a 1/4 inch compression to a 1/4 inch female flare, and that will hook up to our T in the back of the unit and to the T on the front here, or not the, the T, not this solenoid on the front that it needs to connect up to. So we need 2 of those, one for the back, one for the front, 2 of the sleeves and inserts, and just a couple feet of plastic tubing is really all you need. I just went ahead and bought a roll, that way I've got it, but it's really going to only take about 6, 8, 10 inches at most. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a measurement on my plastic tubing. So what I'll do is I'll run that through the back, give it a couple of inches out there, give it a little bit here, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut this with a knife. Okay, so when you open this up, like I said, you're going to get rid of the sleeve that's already in there. That just unscrews. There's a sleeve in there. That you just throw away. You don't need that. What you're going to replace it with is this plastic sleeve right here. That's what you're going to use. So we'll take the plastic sleeve, put it on our plastic pipe. Actually, what you want to do is you really want to put your collar on there first. Since I don't have anything on the other side, it's easy enough to just go ahead and leave that sleeve on there, slide this over this end, and then continue. Put our insert in. And you want to get that jammed up all the way as far as possible so it seats good and tight. And then we'll tighten this down here. We'll just take a couple wrenches. Get that snug. We should be good to go there. Take our tubing, feed it through to the back. And then attach it up here. And what I just did is, I didn't think about it before, but it's easier if you don't tighten it all the way down on the compression side at first, because then it gives it gives the pipe the ability to spin in there, so it's easier to tighten down that flare. We can tighten up the compression in just a second. Alright, so now we're ready to move to the back. Okay, so here's the back side. And I'm going to do the same process just on the back side here, and I'll show you that when it's done in just a second. Alright guys, so yesterday we hit a little snag with the repair on the CWTF15 coffee maker. It's a BUNN model. And the original problem was I had a pipe that had burst because it had frozen. Well, got that all put back together as you saw, and then the next little jewel that had a problem was the solenoid valve that controls the water flow from the supply into the tank, so it can fill the tank with cold water and push out the hot water into the coffee brewing head and then into the coffee pot. So looked around, tried to find one, and they're ridiculously expensive. I have an old ice maker valve, water control inlet valve from a refrigerator. Hooked that up and tested it. It worked just fine. So I'm going to throw that in instead, and it was about $17, whereas the original part was in the neighborhood of $50 to $60. So this is 110 volts, so you want to be sure that your coffee pot is unplugged and you don't touch any wires until you're absolutely sure that it's unplugged. I would take a meter and test the wires just to make sure that you do have it unplugged, because like I said, you are dealing with electricity here. And let me show you what we're looking at. So this right here is the old solenoid valve that controls the inlet supply to the outlet supply, which goes to your tank up here, and it'll fill this tank, and then the water will drain through here into the heating tank, where it then pushes out the hot water into your brewing head. So we're going to replace this with this. And like I said, that's just an ice maker inlet valve from a regular refrigerator. It's got the compression right there, and then it's just got a push connection right there. I'm gonna have to replace this hose with some more of this PVC pipe, and then we'll be good to go. So let me show you what it's done, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Alright guys, well, this was even easier than I could have expected. What I did is I took that one in, or took and put that one in, and like I said, I thought I was going to have to replace this line, but when I tried this little hose, or this little PVC pipe here, I just was going to shove it in there and thread it up, but turns out that it was a nice snug fit, and this isn't under pressure. So when I found out that, I just figured I'd try it, and it works like a dream. Works really well. So what we can do is just kind of give you guys an idea of what goes on here. Okay, so you'll turn on your burner, and then to start making coffee, you hit the start button. That will get power and send water up here. And then what happens is that water will fill the heating tank, which is behind that electronic board there, and then it'll start dripping coffee. And that big buzz you hear is the water pump. We've got complete water on board, self-sufficient. All I need is power. So when you're fixing something, sometimes you got to think outside the box and just go with it.